Hi everyone, this is Bob Whitaker from History Respawned, and today I wanted to share some gameplay from Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And I was lucky enough to receive a review copy of this game, pre-release. The release date is tomorrow, October 23rd. I was able to receive a review copy from Ubisoft in Europe. So I thought I would kind of show you some of the historical elements of this game, and I should note that I am about 3/4 of the way through the game at this point. As you can see, I'm in sequence 7, 37% through, and so if you are worried about spoilers, please go ahead and shut this off. I will try to avoid any major story revelations, but I wanted to give viewers a sense of what the game looks like kind of later on, because I think there's been a lot of coverage so far of the first couple of hours of this game, but I wanted to give you a sense of what the game looks like in the later stages. So I would say about 15 hours in. I've been playing this for the past week or so on and off, and I would say so far, general impressions, this game is very similar in terms of scope and general feel to last year's Assassin's Creed Unity. But I would say, in terms of its relation to Unity, that it is completely without the same sort of technical glitches and bugs that bedeviled Ubisoft's game on the French Revolution last year. This game, I haven't encountered any sort of bugs, I haven't encountered any sort of technical glitches, and so this is a kind of a nice return to form, I think, for Ubisoft. So briefly, the game Assassin's Creed Syndicate is set in Victorian London, and the year is 1868. So in this game, you have two protagonists, and first protagonist is the one you see here, Evie Fry. And she's working alongside her brother Jacob Fry, and they are attempting to overthrow the Templar control of London. And in this game, the Templars are attempting to control London primarily through the control of major parts of economic life. So this includes the financial district, it includes the banking system, it includes transportation networks, trade, and then also the major factory system. Whereas Evie and Jacob are attempting to encourage the revolt against the Templars using the working classes, so aligning themselves with the downtrodden, and in particular with working class children. So, as you can see here, we've got what I'd say is a pretty excellent depiction of Victorian age London in terms of the buildings, in terms of the look of the city, look of the citizens, and I'm not sure that having dead bodies just lying around like this was all that common. But let me jump out here to the map and let you get a look at the overall view of the city. So again, this is Victorian age London, 1868, and we don't have a view here of Greater London, but we do have a depiction of the major boroughs in central London. So this includes Whitechapel district, City of London itself with St. Paul's Cathedral. We've got the Thames River here, including the bridges. We've got Southwark, and then we've got Lambeth down here. And then over across the river, we've got Westminster. Houses of Parliament are here. Let me see if I can get rid of this red. Let's see. Oh, if I zoom in, I think I can. Houses of Parliament, Palace of Westminster here, Westminster Abbey, of course. We've got the major train stations, Victorian Station here, Waterloo Station is over across the river. We have Buckingham Palace next to St. James Park. And then over here in the Strand, we've got some lesser known, or at least less impressive buildings, but no less important buildings that are not necessarily marked on the map. So, for instance, here in the Strand, we've got a version of New Scotland Yard, or Scotland Yard, I should say. It would have been Old Scotland Yard at this time. But again, very impressive array of different buildings, different historical sites in London in 1868. One of the things that I was disappointed was that it didn't include Greater London, particularly Crystal Palace, which is one of the most famous architectural structures in the Victorian age, would burn down in the mid-1930s. And I was really eager to see if the Crystal Palace would be included in this game, but unfortunately, just a little bit too far out of central London for inclusion. I should say also, in terms of other famous structures, there are some levels in this game which take you out of the central London district and deposit you in different areas. So, for instance, we are taken in one mission to the Tower of London, which is the site of one of the more famous, one of the more famous assassination missions. More fun, I should say, assassination missions in this game. So here we are, actually next to one of these kind of lesser landmarks in the city. This is Temple Church. Here, old Norman structure from the early Middle Ages. And so I'm just going to kind of walk through and let you get a sense of what the city looks like, how it feels. And, you know, one of the major developments for Assassin's Creed Syndicate was the inclusion of vehicles. So as you can see here, as we approach major thoroughfare here in the city of London, we've got horses and buggies and carriages. And then also just beyond that, you can see the river, which if we get a little closer look, I'm just going to try to scamper across the street here. Get a look at the river here. You can see that it is, I've gone into enemy territory here, but briefly you can see all of the traffic here on the Thames River, all of it, and I think I'm going to have to deal with this guy. Sorry about that, but we'll jog away here. But you can see that, you know, this is really a living, breathing city, and it's more of a living, breathing city than the type that you had in even last year's game, Assassin's Creed Unity, with revolutionary Paris. In this game, you know, with the inclusion of vehicles, it feels much more like a living, breathing city than last year's depiction of Paris did. You know, I think last year's version of Paris, which I reviewed for History Respawned, it included horse manure on the ground, but no actual horses, or at least only 2 horses that I could find in the entire city. So that was a disappointment. But this version of London seen here, it includes vehicles, it includes boats, all of which you can take control of and drive through the city. Speaking of which, I have to constantly remind myself, despite being a British historian by trade, that I need to drive on the left-hand side. As an American, it's a hard habit to develop. So as you can see here, we've got some of the cityscape in central London, City of London right now, and you know, I would say this depiction of London seen here in Syndicate is just as impressive as last year's depiction of Paris, and even more so because of the use of vehicles and boats as well. So again, we're just kind of approach Westminster here. We've got Big Ben coming up on the horizon. Let's see, we got a fire engine here to the right. There's several omnibuses going through the town as well. Let's see if I can find one of those, actually. Usually they're all over the place. Let's see, we've got Palace, Westminster here. We can maybe take a stop. Well, there's an omnibus. Here we go. So these are all throughout the town, carrying people off to work. I've actually followed some people on the omnibus just to see what their AI subroutines are, and they're okay. I mean, it definitely gives an air of believability to the city. So let's scale up Big Bend here before we knock off for this quick look. One of the best inclusions, or most useful inclusions in this game, is the inclusion of the rope launcher, which allows you to easily traverse the cityscape and also scale these enormous buildings. And this is a new inclusion to Syndicate, and of course it borrows quite a bit from other open world games, particularly the Batman franchise by Rocksteady. And I think it is a welcome inclusion in the Assassin's Creed series, simply because these cities that they've created have gotten so massive. It's really difficult to think of using traditional means to get around. So having the rope launcher is really a nice touch, I feel. So here we are. We've scaled Big Ben, and now we've got a really great view of the City of London from Westminster, Bank of Westminster. We've got, again, the bustling Thames River. We've also got a set of factories located along the river. Now, most of these factories, they're pretty small, but again, a good sense of what the city was like at the time. All of the coal burning throughout the city, bustling traffic on the Thames. We have also major landmarks, including Westminster Abbey there in view. And again, you know, even though these city roads in London have been expanded to accommodate the new carriages and new horses for the gameplay, I think, you know, the depiction of the city is, you know, relatively realistic, and it's nice to see, in particular, that the game has included some of the smaller landmarks. So in addition to Big Ben, again, you've got things like Scotland Yard. You have some of the smaller parks, and so that's nice. You know, even at buildings that you can't necessarily scale, they're still included in this game. Off to the distance we could see Trafalgar Square, the Nelson column rising up from the middle there, and so it's just a brief look at the cityscape, kind of the feel of the city. I'm gonna stop this now and pick up in another video where I'll talk a little bit more about some of the historical figures that you see in this game. Okay, bye for now.